8:53 right now. That means that the 24-foot long and under boats have started the race. There are the first two boats right there, and very likely will be coming in much after the big boats that take off 7 minutes from now. All right, so here's the big guys. Now, remember the number 11 yellow boat, and we're going to see how well he does on this return trip. 9 o'clock, the big guys take off. This is 24 seat here until the last one comes out, and then we're going to motor in closer to the shore. Like I said before, this is the first time I've ever seen this Catalina Ski Race take off at a point where you can see the island from here. It's generally overcast this time of year. They're gonna go full throttle to that island over by Avalon and do a big arc, big circle without even hardly letting off the throttle, and they're gonna come back. And the lead boat is gonna be a big one, not one of the small ones. The big ones are gonna pass those small ones that happened 8 minutes ago. And one of those big boats is gonna be back here in a little over 50 minutes. The record is well on. I don't know how many boats have got entered this year, but altogether in years past, I think about 125 would be a typical number of starter boats. All right, so we're just boating in from the breakwater, and we're going to take our place here adjacent to the finish line, allegedly at the stern of the Queen Mary. And we're about 15 minutes out. All right. Festivities getting underway. Clearing the field, anticipation growing. Lead boats coming in through Queen's Gate momentarily. Folks in the Queen Mary are gathering. Deck is packed.
See that orange marker over there?
Yeah, they got to go around that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look where those boats are.
There are two boats way ahead of everybody else. And they round the buoy, and they're coming home. What's the time, Damon? What's the time?
9:57.
I think the record's 54 minutes. Is that the yellow 11?
No.
What? Dude, there's your winner right there. Look at that. Look at that. So far ahead of everybody, there isn't even another boat in sight.
Wow, there's smoke.
Those guys had such a lead on the rest. I think that there's the third place right there. He's got to still round the buoy way out there. And the third place doesn't have anybody chasing him either.
Oh, that's yellow.
Is that yellow number 11?
Yeah.
He went out first. He's coming in third, it appears. Here comes the third place finisher. I'm guessing it's 11. It is. Yeah, buddy. Look at that skier. There. And we're waiting now to find out who's going to be first place in the small boat category. Is this a small boat? It's a number 26, and that was the first boat that went out. Is the gray boat. There's the skier right there.
And then here is number 21.
That's first place, and here's second place in the small boat category, number 21. Thanks and welcome back to Long Beach. Way to go, guys. Good job.
Nice work. Yeah, yeah.
over there came in third place in the small boat category. Looks like a 328 is the number.
Hey, look at this champagne party right behind you.
Second place female getting aboard her boat after just returning from Catalina, nearly 2 hours after leaving the area. We're trying to get her out of her bindings. Got the front foot out, here comes the second foot. You've got to tape yourself up, make yourself tight. She's been on the water for 2 hours. It's nearly 11 o'clock. They left at 9 o'clock.
Swallowing in there pretty good.
So her feet are very likely swollen into her binding, and they're having a hard time getting her undone. You know, when you go into those skis, I know from my past experience, when you go into those high rep bindings, use a little dish detergent to lubricate things up to slide in.
Palm olive.
Palm olive. You'd always have a bottle on the boat to get in and out of your binding. But in this case, if they use detergent to get into it, it's good and washed out now 2 hours later. I suppose they could always cut her out. She's out of the ski.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Damon, how fast do you suppose we're going?
What now?
How fast do you think we're going?
About 16, 17. About 3,000 RPM. We're heading into the wind. We're just doing an easy cruise. We're good.
So where are we headed? We're going over to the chowder barge. Is that about right?
The chowder barge, backside of LA Harbor, around by the Henry Ford drawbridge in Los Angeles.
That's cool. Dressed up with the port and fire boat. Since Elon Musk and the success he's had with his launch program, it may have put this this sea launch program on mothball. This program was partially funded, as I recall, by Russians, and there were some local people involved in it. It was a big thing, and they were the first ones to launch a missile from one of their platforms, and it was done near the equator, which is the closest point to reach the orbit. You know, it's interesting because we're sitting here listening to the Sirius XM satellite radio. The satellite's very likely put into space by this company right here called Sea Launch. It really is going to be fantastic. This is such a great perspective to watch the construction of this fantastic bridge. Thinking about, total I think about 2.5 years, 3 years to construct it. And it's coming right along. It's going to double wide the existing bridge's capacity. The existing bridge's capacity was 2 lanes in either direction. The new bridge will have like 3 lanes in either direction. Its towers are tall, and they're going to support the stay cables that will support the roadway. That will be considerably higher than that Gerald Disman Bridge we're looking at right now, built in 1968. I remember as a youngster when my father told me about the land was sinking on Terminal Island, and those towers from former power plant had sunk, as all the ground did, about 15 feet down. But there's a new roadway surface almost twice as wide as the original Gerald Desmond Bridge. So now we're on the opposite side, the north side of the bridge. And we're passing through what is, once again, the Cerritos Channel. That's the land that, when I was a kid, had subsided over 15 feet. And it had to be built up, and I remember in 1999 when it took like a couple of years of dump truck after dump truck to fill that land in to bring it back up. But those stacks over there, I remember as a kid, had actually sunk. My father told me that because we had taken so much oil from the ground that the land was settling, and before they began to inject water into the ground, that was the case. What was that? What is this bridge?
Henry Ford Drawbridge.
The Henry Ford Drawbridge. So Damon tells me that we got this. It's a brand new bridge up there. See that beautiful railing? It's all brand new, and it's meant to replace the roadway that used to make a funny noise when you go across. It go because it was a steel grate.
Get that sign.
I know. Henry Ford Avenue Bridge, signal request, 2 shorts, 1 long blast by vessel, acknowledge, 2 long, 1 short, refusal, 5 short blast, radio, telephone, channel 13. And that's the way it was. And Damon says we're going to go underneath. This drawbridge is no longer in action, but there used to be an operator in one of these towers around here. This was a roadway. This was the old roadway, right? And when it was down like this, we traveled over to Terminal Island, right? All right, should I duck my head, Damon? Should I duck my head? Are you sure your antenna?
4 inches above the end of my antenna.
Your antenna's gonna make it? This is crazy. There's another boat right next to us, man. How's it going, guys? We're good, right? Damon,
Yeah.
are we good? What a trip,
Yeah,
man.
buddy.
I swear I didn't think we were gonna go underneath there. So it's out there where Damon grew up as a kid on my brother's boat, the Squire, at the far end of the channel coming right. So Damon's talking about when you were a kid, you grew up down here as a child and you had your little dinghy with your outboard motor on it. And this is where you'd hang out when you were, how old were you then?
Well, that was 1972, so I was age 4 through age 7.
That's
I
so
spent
cool.
for 3 years down here on the dinghy.
And I remember coming over to where you lived on the boat. It was down over there. There was an area where they used that magnetic claw to drop the scrap metal into the hull of the ship, and whoa, the big noise it would make. And it was right across from where you lived. You used to take showers up in that.
Well, yeah, Newmark's, that's the main marina building there. You'd get a 50-cent shower up there in 1972. If you lived here at the docks, it came with the price of the monthly fee without charge per shower. So we showered free all the time.
You didn't have to shower aboard the boat then. You went up for the public shower, right?
Right.
And this one over here was
For boat owners only. And this is the old Matson yard across the way.
This is Matson Yard, but what I told you about the metal that used to drop into the holes of the ship, that's the place right there.
That's it. And
So they still do that.
I'll never forget the explosion in 1973. It rocked all these windows, cracked everyone, including ours, and the flames coming off of that scrapyard, the fireboats that came in.
Really?
They operated only over voice audio systems. There was no visual.
So the dock where you lived in the Squire this is the last dock, and I believe it was just the other side. Am I right?
Yeah, right around the corner, and about 7 in, we'll take you there in just a bit.
This is your water hole right in this corner.
Yeah, this is where I learned how to swim, right here on the right-hand side.
Learned how to swim right here, because not the turquoise boat, but where the empty slip is to the left, that turquoise boat was where the Squire was.
Right.
And the last time that was 1977, is that right?
Yeah, well, the years we had our time down here were 72 to 77. We were here I was here from 72 to 75.
Awesome.
I've got so many memories of sitting on the boat over there to the left, over by that turquoise unit.
Yep.
And watching Air Catalina come in and fly in and hit the water and land the airplane.
And they would come down just over or under the bridge. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember, but they would land right in here.
Yeah.
And they were the seaplanes from Catalina. They were a regular thing. They also flew out of Long Beach.
Well,
but they flew
upon
into Los
the
Angeles
takeoffs,
as well.
they would motor down in the water towards our boat here. And about halfway between here and the bridge, they would turn around and go back into the wind and power up and take off over San Pedro.
Would they go under the bridge when they take off,
yes,
or over the bridge?
Yes.
Under the bridge?
They would motor through under the bridge and then take off as they were leaving under the bridge.
That's cool.
And then off to the island.
That's cool. All right, so I said earlier we were headed to the chowder barge that was moved a few years ago from the Long Beach Harbor over here to the Los Angeles Harbor. And listen, we're deep inside. We're inland. We're way up here by Anaheim Road, I suspect.
The beginning of the Dominguez Channel. The Dominguez Channel
goes all the way up by the 405 freeway in Wilmington, right?
It begins here at the train track. And the Dominguez Channel begins underneath the train track on the other side by the rocks.
That's an interesting
It goes
fact.
all the way up to Goodyear Blimp and beyond.
That's right, all the way up 405 freeway by the Harbor Freeway. By the way, we're all tied off. We found ourselves a spot. I don't know if it's somebody else's spot, but we'll have to keep an eye on what's going on when we're dining at the chowder barge.
Yeah, we're
Good
here.
to go. Get some lunch, bro. That's stuck over there. Get some french fries. There's the chowder barge in the Los Angeles Harbor. Formerly in the Long Beach Harbor, I know that it was. She just told me they moved over
Well,
in
the chowder barge,
1982.
I know it started in 1972 in my experience. In 71, 72, I'd go down by Henry Ford Drawbridge, and there was a pool table
That's
here
right.
at the corner.
And
And
of course,
at the time,
it listed
the pool tables
because this
on
place
a
is a
list.
little crooked, right? It's
That's
got,
what I liked about the pool table was the fact it was listing over, and you could only
They're both-
everybody only favored one pocket over the other.
yeah. I'll take the right side of the pool table, thank you. So real briefly, I want you to tell me the story about this. Listen, George Hart on February, but George Hart also, he's good at these knots, and he put one on the what do you call it, the ISS, right?
The International Space Station, but this knot I brought down here on President's Weekend 2016. And I made a delivery here, and owner's daughter put it up there.
But one just like it is aboard the International Space Station that goes around and around and around the Earth 7 times
Yeah,
a day, right?
the same knot tire did that, but a different style of knot. is
But
on there.
done by George Hart.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Cool.
Down here at the chowder barge, you got the regulars.
Yes, I do.
Talking about the old times. Back with another one, they got a stack of blue ones. Right next to the Yang Ming white ones. They appear to be longer, I guess. And the blue one is going in even with the white one. We're gonna see. Oh man, don't drop that on my head, bro. We're gonna see on the right side that they line up. Those are extra long containers. Container wars. Hard to see. No, my God, they're long on this end too. All right, check this out. You know about steering that big bad boy. And the steering for that dang old rudder right there. Which way you going, man? This is the Vincent Thomas Bridge that connects Terminal Island to San Pedro, California. And that was opened in 1963, but I remember a time when, in order to get across this channel to San Pedro, you had to take a ferry. There's a ferry crossing up there somewhere.
Peter knew something good on Sirius XM 60s on 6.
We're getting close to the USS Iowa. We got an helicopter up
I wonder
there.
if they flew us on off that ship or not.
Oh, sure they did. Battleship Islands. Public daily tours from 10 to 4. Wow. That was the stern. I didn't realize that was the bow. There's the bow. I thought those were the front guns. These are the front guns. So those three are gonna, clear the way, and then exactly, and then those three are gonna So the Maritime Museum, I think, was the former ferry boat terminal back in the day. Lid, folks who believe that Port Call was
The
closed.
heart and soul of the fish market is here to stay. Hey, it's changing the thing. Look at all the people down here today.
I smell it. I know what you got to have for lunch. Fried food.
Get some halibut. Just for the halibut.
You know
We're
what?
gonna have some halibut.
Good stuff. How's it going, guys?
Yeah.
Right on, man. And the birds are waiting for French fries. How's it going? So we're headed out for a rough ocean ride home. I think this probably will conclude this fun little video with me.
We're gonna go down and win. It won't be that wet.
You know, you can see that flag flying up there ahead. Let me do this here. See that flag? We're going in the direction of that wind. That's a good thing. In the day before World War II, this area, what is this cove called? Fish Harbor. Oh, Fish Harbor. And these are all tuna fishing boats. But back in the day, there was a huge industry down here of people of Japanese ancestry that had a village. And my mom used to tell me about the lovely village homes along the beaches over here. They had their own fishing village, and they fished for tuna like crazy over here. When World War II happened, that's when they were all taken up to what was it called, Manzanita?
Fish Harbor.
I know, but when they took the Japanese people up north,
Oh, they took them to Manzanar.
Manzanar, all right,
Yeah,
and within days, the encampment that was inhabited by the Japanese people was flattened, was leveled by the U.S. government. Read about it. So all in all, it was a great day. We're back. Second Street Bridge. We're going to go over to the bridge and we'll hang a left in the bay up there. More the boat up or it's wrong. Great day, Danny. Appreciate it, man.
You're welcome, bro.
Don't let anybody ever tell you that owning a boat is easy. I'll tell you what, by the time we get it cleaned up and covered, and then we discover that Damon is still on the inside. He hasn't even come out yet. Are you almost done?
Yeah, about 80% done there.